All right, hi guys. Hopefully you got this to work. So right now you should have a handout out. The back of that is your homework tonight. If you don't, go ahead and just pause it and get that handout. You're going to be following along on this handout with some notes that we're going to do today. Another announcement today is that we're going to have a review day on Wednesday and a quest, like a mix between a quiz and a test. We'll have that on Thursday this week since we don't have school on Friday. All right, so our goal today is to solve one-step equation. So we're going to have a variable in an equation and we want to find out what it is. Today, everything you do is only we're going to require one step to solve it. So part one, find these examples on your handout. Our first example that we're going to do is this one, x minus 10 equals 4. So this is asking us what number, x, what mystery number minus 10 equals 4. And you might even be able to think of something in your head right now that if you take 10 away from it, you get 4. But in case you didn't know, like maybe they're weird numbers, what you want to do is look at your x and then look at what's happening to it. Right now we're subtracting 10 from it. We kind of want to undo that. We can undo subtracting 10, which is really adding a negative 10, by adding the opposite, by adding 10. Now, think of this equal sign as like a scale. We've got to keep it balanced. So if we add 10 to this side, I have to add 10 to this side of the equal sign. You can even draw a line through your equal sign like that to make sure that you remember to keep it balanced. So if we look on this left side of our equation, negative 10 plus 10 is 0. It kind of cancels out. So on that side, we're just left with x. That's all that's left there. So then I have my equal sign. On this side, I have 4 plus 10, and that's 14. So that's it. I have my answer. X is 14. Now I'm going to say to check your work. So to check your work, you take your answer, which is 14, plug it in where you see x. So I'm writing 14 minus 10. I'm writing this side exactly as I see it, but I'm putting my 14 in for x equals 4. And then you can check it. 14 minus 10 is 4, and that's the same as 4. So ours worked. You can put a little check mark there. All right, let's try another one here. So on this next one, we're trying to solve for y. We're seeing y minus 5, like what number minus 5 is 7? So you look at your y and what's happening to it? Well, there's being a 5 subtracted from it. So we want to do the opposite. I want to add 5 to get rid of that minus 5, but I can't just do it to that side. I have to do it to the other side as well. So 7 plus 5 is 12, and that's my answer for y. It doesn't matter that y ended up on the right side of the equation. It's okay as long as you isolate it, which means you get it by itself. So now we want to go ahead and check it. So I'm going to rewrite my equation up here. I'll put in different colors. So 7 equals y, which I think is 12, minus 5. Well, 12 minus 5 is 7, and 7 is 7, so it worked. All right, let's try one more. So on this one, I have negative 8 plus b. I want to get rid of this negative 8. I want to think, what can I do to that negative 8 to make it 0? Well, if I add a positive 8, negative 8 plus 8 is 0, and it goes away. So now I'm left with b equals, now remember, if I added 8 to that side, I have to add 8 to this side as well. 2 plus 8 is 10. So my solution here is b equals 10, and now I can check it. Negative 8 plus b, which is 10, equals 2. Well, negative 8 plus 10 is 2. And 2 is 2, so it worked. All right, so what I want you to do now is try these on your own. I want you to pause the video right now, try these on your own. Okay, and then when you're ready, when you've taken maybe 6 minutes or so, 2 minutes per problem, I want you to restart it and I'll have the solutions up here and you can check your work. All right. Okay, so hopefully you took some time to work and we're going to go through these. On the first one, I have r plus 8 is 20. I want to do the opposite of what happened to my r to get it by itself. So the opposite of adding 8 is subtracting 8. I want to do that to both sides of my equal sign. And then I can figure out what I have left. So now I have left r equals, and 20 minus 8 is 12. And if you checked your work there, it should work out. R is 12 plus 8 does equal 20. All right, number 2, we've got 10 equals 15 plus y. So if I look at my y here, the thing I want to get away from it is this positive 15. So to get rid of that, I need to take away 15. So I need to do that to each side of my equal sign. 15 minus 15 is 0, so it goes away. And then 10 minus 15 is negative 5, and y is left all by itself here. So in this case, y is equal to negative 5. All right, our last one here, we've got negative 4 plus g equals 6. I need to move this negative 4. To move negative 4, we should have added 4. You have to add it to both sides. So we're left with g equals 6 plus 4 is 10. So hopefully you did okay on those. We're going to move to a new section now. Now we're going to be solving by multiplying and dividing. So let's look at this first one. Right here I have 6k equals 30. Remember that 6 and k, if they're right next to each other, that means they're being multiplied. So the opposite of multiplying something is dividing. Okay, so I can divide by 6. Now the reason that works is because 6 over 6, remember we talked about canceling because 6 over 6 is 1, and 1 times k is just k. Now I also have to do that to my other side. So I have to divide by 6 on the other side, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. So here I end up with k equals 5, and I can check my work here. 6 times k, so 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 times 5 is 30. So it worked out. All right, let's look at this next example. Here I can see it looks like a fraction. So I know it's division. I'm taking k and I'm dividing it by negative 5. So the opposite of that division is multiplication. I can multiply it by negative 5. And negative 5, I can kind of think of this as an extended fraction here. Negative 5 over negative 5 cancels out. I'm just left with k. Now make sure the other side, since I multiplied by negative 5 here, I have to take this negative 4 and multiply it by negative 5 as well. So negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. So k is equal to 20. And you can check that. Just rewrite your equation. Negative 4 equals 20 for k over negative 5. And 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. So it worked out. All right, let's try another one here. So on this one, I've got a w here. It's right next to a negative 2, so it's being multiplied by negative 2. To kind of undo that, I've got to do the opposite of multiplying, and I have to divide by that same number. Negative 2 cancels out. Negative 2 over negative 2 is just positive 1 left there. So I have to also divide the other side by negative 2. So I'm left with w here. And now 13 divided by negative 2, you might be thinking negative 6.5. It'll depend on the situation. For now, I want to just leave things a fraction if it's a fraction. So this side is negative 13 over 2. Remember, you can put that negative sign wherever you want and it'll work. Okay. If we plug that in to check it, I've got 13 equals negative 2 times w, so times negative 13 over 2. All right. I know that my 2's can cancel because 2 over 2 is 1. Negative times negative is positive, so that became positive, and I'm left with 13 equals 13. So that one worked out as well. I think I have some more examples on the next page here. All right, some more with fractions in them. All right, so on this first one, I've got 5/9 v equals 35. I really need to get rid of this whole 5/9. So what we can do is, if I have a 9 up here being multiplied, I know that 9 and 9 will cancel. And if I have a 5 down here, I know 5 and 5 will cancel. So what you're going to do if you have a fraction next to your variable is multiply by the reciprocal. I'm multiplying by 9 over 5 and it'll cancel out. I'm just left with v. Now remember, you have to multiply by 9 over 5 here as well. This one is kind of tricky, especially if you don't have a calculator, but think of 35 as 35 over 1. Since we're multiplying here, you could multiply straight across right now, but it'd be easier to simplify it a little bit first. You can divide 5 by 5 and get 1. So you got 1 down there. Divide 35 by 5, you've got 7. So right now I've really got 7 times 9 on top, which is 63, and 1 on bottom. So 63 over 1 is just 63. So v is equal to 63. On this next one, it looks a little different, but it's actually the same here. I've got 4/3 y. Another way to write this would be like this, 4/3 y. Those are the same thing. You can put the y on top with just the numerator, or you can put it out to the side. They're the same thing. So you're going to do the same process here. You're going to multiply by the reciprocal that's next to the variable. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 4. 3's cancel, 4's cancel. I'm left with y. Now make sure you multiply by 3 over 4 on this side as well. Remember, when you're multiplying fractions, you just multiply straight across the top. 3 times 5 is 15. On the denominator, I have 4 times 2, which is 8. There's no common factor of 15 and 8, so I can just leave that 15 over 8. All right, let's see if I remember to put some more practice on here for you. All right, so you can go ahead, pause the video, try these on your own. They're on your handout. And when you're ready, restart the video and you can check your answers. All right, hopefully you had some time to try those on your own. So the first one, we have 7p, which means 7 times p. To get rid of that 7, you want to divide by it. Divide both sides by 7. For now, you can just leave this 50 divided by 7, 50 over 7. That's fine. All right, on the next one, we've got h divided by 2 equals 25, h over 2. Well, the opposite of over 2 is multiplying by 2. A 2 on top and a 2 on bottom are 1, so I have to multiply the other side by 2 as well. So I'm left with h equals 2 times 25, which is 50. You can always plug these back in and check them. And on our last one, I have negative 2/3 m equals 5. So remember, I can multiply by the reciprocal. 3 on top, so those will cancel. Negative 2 on bottom, so those will cancel. Negative over negative is positive. 2 over 2 is 1. Now I have to also multiply this side by 3 over negative 2, which is just negative 3/2. It doesn't matter where the negative is. So I'm left with m equals, here a 5 is like 5 over 1. So I have 5 times 3 on top, which is 15. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2 on bottom. You could also write this as a negative on the outside and then 15/2. It doesn't matter where you put the negative in a fraction. All right, so either one of those is okay for that one. All right, I hope that made some sense. So you have the back of this handout as homework tonight. You can work on that right now. If you finish, I need you to work on something else quietly. All right, I need you guys to work silently so people can think. You need to work on your own today. If you finish, I want you to work on something else silently. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure and get that homework done.